Good morning, good afternoon, green afternoon, and good evening and green evening. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are world over, a very hearty welcome and a very warm welcome to each one of you for yet another very powerful evening that is making education relevant. आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं, and we extend a very hearty welcome to all of you. People, those join us from Canada, those join us from USA, those join us from Latin America, those join us from UK, coming to Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, and of course, people are also joining us from South Asia, from different parts. Hearty welcome to people from Bhutan, from Maldives, from Sri Lanka, at the same time going to Mauritius also. And let me move to Middle East. People, those are joining us from Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Dubai, Oman, Doha, Qatar, wherever you are, a very hearty welcome to all of you. People, those are with us from India, नमस्कार, आप सबको आज की शाम बहुत बहुत प्रणाम, और खासकर भारत में, क्योंकि कल ही नई शिक्षा प्रणाली की बातचीत हुई है और कल ही भारत में शिक्षा की नई प्रणाली को ओके हो गया है और ग्रीन झंडी दिखा दी गई है, हरी झंडी आ गई है, that is from the cabinet and from the honorable prime minister and the entire cabinet, and now it goes to parliament, and thereafter it will see the daylight in respective states and throughout India. भारत से मैं थोड़ा सा आगे चलता हूं और आपको लेके चलता हूं. 650 million people, those are in ASEAN, right in the Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam and Brunei, all the countries, we extend you a very hearty welcome. I also extend a very warm welcome to all the brothers and sisters, those join us from Bahrain. I'm so grateful to Mr. and Mrs. Geeta Chopra and Rajneesh Chopra. You bring a confluence of the people from your country over there. I'm grateful to you. Let me come to Seoul, the South Korea, and it's quite late in Japan, in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Kobe, Kyoto, Fukuoka, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Yokohama, Tokyo, but still some of the people are joining us from there. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being our strength. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, we have got two agendas and we have got two areas and we have got two important missions to share with you. One is, while complementing and while welcoming the new education policy which has come in India, and at the same time we'll be talking about today with the legend, with a very esteemed guest and a very distinguished guest who carries a long experience with the micro, small and medium enterprises when we talk about, because during this coronavirus and during this pandemic and during this particular, the problem which whole world has faced, MSME sector has gone through very, very difficult phase. So we are going to touch on two. So we have got Shri Ravindra Nath ji, the former managing director and the chairman of the NSIC, which is the organization of the Government of India, Ministry of MSME. We extend him a very hearty welcome. And of course, before we invite today's distinguished guest, because every day we get lots of people, those join us from the world over, and they are new to us. So thereby, I wish to share a couple of slides with you so that we all are on the common frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, first of all, Bharat ke itihas mein, when I look back to Nalanda, when I look back to India's first residential university, when I get back into the history, and when I talk and when I think in my vision, in my cerebrum, in my mind, in my whole system, ecosystem, what must have been the Nalanda University? What must have been 10,000 students, 2,000 acharya, wahan ki sanskriti, wahan ka mahal, where the education was free, stay was free, food was free, and everything was free. How much research, how much innovation, what all must have been done over there. And the long way have come in India. 1986, imagine that was the last time when the India's policy and minor changes were made in 1992. And now, after such a long gap, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and along with him, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, the Honorable earlier the HRD and now the Education Ministry, the new education policy, the new reforms, how the entire ecosystem of education, what changes are going to be there in the school education, what changes are going to be in the higher education, how the skills and the competencies in the vocational and art, craft, handicraft, music, all the time I have been talking about all these days when we were talking about making education relevant, that there should be a music therapy. I'm so delighted. I'm so happy. Our chapter is so extremely happy that today, a great living soul on this planet, Asha Bhosle ji, also complimented today's new education policy, because music is a part of education. Music therapy is a part of education. Everybody has welcomed. You can study engineering, but at the same time, you can take music also. You can study medical, but at the same time, you can take fashion designing also. Your passion can become your profession. It's a beautiful amalgamation, and heartiest congratulations to the present government and particularly to the Education Minister of India and of course to the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Now, ladies and gentlemen, school education, higher education, and when we talk about, there are a couple of highlights. Today, whole day, I have been interacting world over because our chamber deals with the non-resident Indians abroad. A lot of corporate houses from the world over. They all have been talking, and the small bites and the glimpses what we have will bring to you soon. We will be having lots of Indians and lots of foreigners and everybody world over. The dream project of India. India is going to have a leapfrog now. The education would be relevant with the corporate sector. The research and development, whatever is happening in all educational institutions, that will see the daylight with the government, the corporate sector, and at the same time, education fraternity. All of us together, we are going to take India, that is, to the new heights when we talk about, and that is new education policy 2020. The GDP of India's total GDP, when you talk about now from the present 4.43 or 4.44, whatever is the percentage you would like to talk about, now it's going to be 6%, which will be dedicated to education alone. What a change! And education being the base of human development, global peace, global harmony, Vasudev Kutumbakam, what we have been talking from India. Imagine what India is going to be and what India is going to give to the whole world. The new education policy is going to bring a phenomenal change in the entire education and the corporate world and the skill development and the competencies and whatever gaps were existing. This is a wonderful moment in the history of India that after such a long time, we are seeing the new daylight. The Honorable Prime Minister of Agenda, Shri Narendra Modi ji, talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. When I talk about this Abhiyan, how India is going to be self-reliant and how this movement is going to see now the reality in near future. The process has begun, and वो सुबह कभी तो आएगी जिसके बारे में हम सोचते थे, वो सुबह आ गई. Kal 29th of July is a historic day. It's going to be in the history, remembered forever. Now it's just a time when the cabinet, after that it goes to the parliament and then it goes to the states, and soon we will see, because it is going to be implemented later. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber world over, because lots of non-resident Indians are very keen that रहें तो वो विदेश में, काम तो वो बाहर करें, चाहे वो खुद काम करें या आगे रोजगार क्रिएट करें. But at the same time, they are very keen that their children, they should get India's art, craft, culture, handicraft, and whatsoever is the heritage of India, they should imbibe that. किसी भी जगह से, भारत के किसी भी राज्य से जितने भी NRIs बाहर गए हैं, अगर उनके मन की आवाज जैसे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर मन की बात करते हैं, उन लोगों की मन की आवाज सुनो तो दे स्टिल वांट टू बी, जो यहाँ की मट्टी है, जो यहाँ की खुशबू है, जो भारत की संस्कृति है, वो चाहते हैं हम रह तो विदेश में रहे हैं लेकिन हमारे बच्चों को जो हेरिटेज मिले, जो संस्कृति मिले, जो माहौल मिले, जो बच्चों को शिक्षा मिले. So now is the time, ladies and gentlemen, start thinking. Indians need not to go abroad for the higher education. Higher education should come to India. If some of the foreign universities are interested to collaborate, their teachers, their educators, their professors, let them come out. क्योंकि इस कोरोना वायरस ने एक बहुत बड़ा काम किया है टेक्नोलॉजी में, जो कुछ सालों के बाद होना था थोड़ा जल्दी आ गया. That means technology has exposed and it has made the whole education system transparent. जो अच्छे हैं, जो पढ़ाने में अच्छे हैं, जो शिक्षा देने में अच्छे हैं, उन्हें किसी तरीके का कोई भय नहीं, कोई डर नहीं, क्योंकि जो कुछ भी वो कंटेंट इम्पार्ट कर रहे हैं उसमें सिर्फ इतना ही है कि क्लासरूम से आप बाहर आकर डिजिटल मोड में दे रहे हैं. और अब the other day I was talking to one of my distinguished guests in the panel and she was telling कि डॉक्टर शर्मा now हम प्रिंसिपल नहीं हैं, अब जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो प्रिंसिपल हैं, क्योंकि वो हर रोज वॉच कर रहे हैं कि हमारा बच्चा क्या पढ़ रहा है, हमारे बच्चे को क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है. So ladies and gentlemen, all 30 million non-resident Indian abroad, those are echoing in the one voice that the time has come now, India becoming destination. Can you imagine that how many children, almost about 7.5 lakh youth, they go abroad, and how much is the revenue leakage, how much foreign exchange is going abroad, how much money is going abroad, and that entire money can be saved and it can be used for the economic multiplier and for developing Atmanirbhar Bharat. और हमारे पास जो फॉरेनर्स हैं आज की डेट में 45 से 47 हजार के करीब बच्चे बाहर के विदेशों के भारत में पढ़ रहे हैं. Now the time has come with the new education policy when there will be less regulatories and there is going to be a more freedom to education, and digital mode is going to empower, the technology is going to empower, whether it's a school education or it's a higher education or it's a technical education or vocational education, skill education. India now to become the hub of education and भारत को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनना है और वो समय अब आ गया है, and that is the way we have to work out. So Monday to Friday, every evening 7 to 8 p.m. we talk with you on making education relevant, and on every Saturday we talk about आप तभी शिक्षा अच्छी पा पाएंगे जब मानसिक रूप से, शारीरिक रूप से आप तंदुरुस्त होंगे, आप अच्छे होंगे, आपकी सेहत ठीक होगी. So we talk about Ayurveda for the global wellness. The Ministry of Ayush is also doing a commendable, remarkable job they are doing at this point of time. Heartiest and deepest regards to them. During this lockdown, ladies and gentlemen, the entire world is passing through such a tragedy that the thought processes are affected, businesses are affected, physical and mental health is affected, and made part of the universities, education is deeply affected. And once again, we remember over here, जब भी कोई crisis आती हैं, उनमें opportunities भी आती हैं. When we have the difficulties, it will give a birth to necessity is the mother of invention. When the difficulties and challenges are there, they will come out with the new opportunities as well. When I'm talking earlier, if a teacher was talking to only 60 students in the class, now teacher can talk to 6,000 students with one lecture, and the student can watch that lecture, play, replay, any point of time, in any position, at home, any place, wherever they are. So ladies and gentlemen, भारत की सुबह से पहले से प्राचीन काल से संस्कृति रही है, that is Vasudev Kutumbakam. One world, one love, one family. All of us, we are together as one family. All of us, we are together. We are looking forward to global peace, global harmony, global wellness. That's the way India looked at, and India always believes in that. Okay. Our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry. Everybody is doing a remarkable job at this point of time. We would like to compliment everybody. भारतीय शिक्षा मंडल के मुकुल कनितकर जी कितना अच्छा कार्य कर रहे हैं। रोजाना मैं देखता हूँ, सुबह दोपहर शाम लगे हुए हैं। किसी भी तरीके से शिक्षा की प्रणाली को और आगे लेके जाना है। और बहुत खुशी की बात यह है कि नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस के अंदर, रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस के अंदर और संस्कृत को भी, और जितने भी लोग कंप्यूटर्स पे काम कर रहे हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर रहे हैं, एल्गोरिदम्स पर काम कर रहे हैं, वो कहते हैं कि संस्कृत की जो भाषा है उसके बेस के ऊपर बहुत सारी चीजें आगे टेक्नोलॉजी में है। सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, नाउ everybody is going to be empowered with the new education policy. At the same time, our chamber, International Chamber for Service Industry, whatever gaps were existing or gaps are existing when we talk from skills we move to competencies. तो अब इतना अच्छा सिस्टम आ रहा है एजुकेशन में आगे कि आपकी एजुकेशन के सिस्टम में ही स्किल भी होगी, वोकेशनल भी होगी, इंटर्नशिप भी होगी, और आपकी हॉबीज भी होंगी, आपकी स्पोर्ट्स भी होगी, और उसी के साथ साथ संस्कृति और कल्चर और आर्ट, क्राफ्ट और म्यूजिक भी होगा। What a beautiful note to the new education policy. Once again, our deepest regards and gratitudes to the whole government, the present government, what they have done remarkable. So now, ladies and gentlemen, our global finishing school, it is there to empower the teachers and the youth globally. Our own way, we are trying to reach world over. Wherever the gaps are, we are trying to help them. Wherever the glitches are there, wherever the hiccups are there, we are trying to work out whatever best we can do from our side. Now, technology is going to play a very important role and future of education, and it is something very interesting, very interesting. 6th onward, what all is going to happen in the school education system, and 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, what all is going to happen. Wow, wonderful. We started this humble journey on 5th of June because that's a making education relevant on. Our journey started, humble steps we started taking, that is called World Environment Day, जो विश्व का पर्यावरण दिवस है 5 जून। उस दिन से हमने एक मैसिव कैंपेन शुरू किया, वाटर कंजर्वेशन, जल संरक्षण की। जब हम बातचीत करते हैं तो इस समय बच्चे घरों में हैं, हर एक माता पिता से हम निवेदन करेंगे कि आप अपने बच्चों को जल बचाने की आप छोटी छोटी चीजें बताइए। आपके किचन में, आपके बाथरूम में, आपके टॉयलेट्स में, आपके किचन गार्डन में, आपकी बाकी जगहों में जहां भी आप वाटर का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, एक एक बूंद पानी की कैसे बच सकती है, क्योंकि फ्यूचर में the world is going to have lots of difficulties, misunderstanding and crisis as far as jal is concerned, water is concerned. We all got to be understand what is to be done in that. So ladies and gentlemen, at present when children are at home, we would make a humble request to you, kindly adopt new techniques, innovative techniques. और आज का जो हमारा, क्योंकि कल भी लोगों ने बड़े अच्छे विचार भेजे, हमने अपनी वॉच पार्टी के अंदर सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि अपने अपने सजेशन भेजिए कि शिक्षा प्रणाली के अंदर नया क्या आना चाहिए। और कल क्योंकि एजुकेशन पॉलिसी अभी शुरू ही हुई थी और अभी सब कुछ लोगों ने उतना डेलिब्रेट नहीं किया था, वॉच नहीं किया था, so the answers which we got, they were very moderate. So today we have got a time, we are giving you a food for thought. आज सब लोग अपनी वॉच पार्टी में, अपने फेसबुक पर और अपने वेबिनार में, जब आप जूम पर आ रहे हैं तो आप अपनी चैट के अंदर, we would make a humble request to you, kindly send your suggestions कि इस समय जब बच्चे अपने माता पिता के साथ घर पर हैं तो घर पर पानी को कैसे बचाया जा सकता है। यदि आप कुछ कंपनियों की बातचीत भी करना चाहें, कुछ कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेस की भी बातचीत करना चाहें कि जो ऐसी मशीनें बना रही हैं जिनसे आपको लगता है कि पानी बच सकता है और जल्दी बच सकता है, तो वो भी हमें बताइएगा। आज की वॉच पार्टी में, आज के फेसबुक में और आज के हमारे चैट बॉक्स में हर एक को मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा अपने अपने सजेशंस वाटर सेविंग पर, जल संरक्षण पर, आपके घर में माता पिता क्या कर सकते हैं और बच्चे क्या कर सकते हैं, इसकी बातचीत करेंगे। आइए आगे चलते हैं। हर शनिवार को, मंडे टू फ्राइडे, आई डिस्कस एवरी Saturday morning at 9:30, we talk about Buddham Saranam Gacchami. There is almost 500 million plus people. When we talk about the global fraternity, which is following Buddhism, every Saturday morning, I'm so grateful to Ashok Wangri ji, and I'm so grateful to Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya ji, who is the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. He's trying to get what is Buddha's teaching in today's education system. What is the relevance of Buddha's teaching, Buddha's philosophy in today's education system? Those of us, those are interested to know a little more about Buddha. इन दिनों में लॉकडाउन के टाइम में मुझे बहुत टाइम मिला. मैंने 60 के करीब जो एक मोदी साहब का सीरियल है वो मैंने देखा और उसमें मुझे बहुत कुछ जानने के लिए मिला. जिस तरीके से मैंने अपने नालंदा के ऊपर रिसर्च करी कि वो तक्षशिला और नालंदा की यूनिवर्सिटीज में क्या था, उसी तरीके से आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. और ऑफ कोर्स इसके साथ साथ कुछ और चीजें भी देखने को मिली. Saturday evening, we all discuss about global wellness, Ayurveda for global wellness, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, herbals. When you talk about nutrition, organic farming, अपने घर के अंदर ही क्या क्या आप उगा सकते हैं, अपने घर की छत के ऊपर कौन सी सब्जियां उगा सकते हैं, एलोवेरा का, गलोए का, इन सब का क्या सदुपयोग है. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष और उसी के साथ साथ नमो गंगे और बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ मिलकर हम हर सैटरडे इवनिंग आपसे 7 और 8 आयुर्वेदा फॉर ग्लोबल वेलनेस को लेके आते हैं. डोंट फॉरगेट टू जॉइन अस दिस सैटरडे आल्सो, एंड इट्स जस्ट 2 days away. Do join us and be a part of it. Then comes Sunday morning. Wow, I always tell everybody, संडे किसने बनाया, संडे क्यों बनाया, संडे किस लिए था, सारे स्कूल हिल स्टेशन पे क्यों खोले गए, अंग्रेज लोग को गर्मी ज्यादा क्यों लगती थी और उन लोगों ने अपने ऐशो आराम के लिए पहाड़ों को और हिल स्टेशन की बातचीत की और कहा कि संडे को छुट्टी होनी चाहिए. अरे संडे शुड बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव. इंडिया हैज टू रन, इंडिया हैज टू रन वेरी फास्ट, and all the Indians, those are abroad, please send us your suggestions, your new pedagogies, your innovations. हम सबका एक कॉन्फ्लुएंस होना चाहिए. अमेरिका के अंदर आज जितनी भी डेवलपमेंट है, अमेरिका की जितनी भी प्रोग्रेस है, क्योंकि पूरे वर्ल्ड से जो डिफरेंट ब्रेन्स हैं वो सारे वहां पहुंचकर अपनी अपनी पैडागॉजी, अपनी अपनी इनोवेशन और अपनी टेक्निक्स और अपनी क्रिएटिविटी और उन सबकी कोलैबोरेशन इकट्ठी हो रही है. अब समय आ गया है कि भारत को आगे विश्व गुरु पुनः बनने के लिए जब हम इस चीज को लेके चलते हैं तो हर संडे मॉर्निंग 9:30 बजे, कैन यू इमेजिन, द प्रोफेसर कम्स फ्रॉम अमेरिका. ही इज एन इंडियन हु इज अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट. He was a student, he was a teacher, he was a writer and everything in India, and he went on a Rotary scholarship just on a student exchange program. और पिछले 30 साल से इन्होंने डबल PhD की. आप चाहे हार्वर्ड की बात कीजिए, स्टैनफोर्ड की बात कीजिए, वॉर्टन की बात कीजिए, आप किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूशन की बातचीत कीजिए, और इस इंसान ने अपनी पहली PhD एजुकेशन एम्पावरमेंट पर करी और दूसरी PhD बुद्धिज्म के ऊपर करी. 8 साल लगाए. और जब भी भारत आते हैं अपनी छुट्टियों के अंदर ऋषिकेश की उन गुफाओं में उन हमारे ऋषि मुनियों के साथ बैठे होते हैं कि आप मुझे कुछ सिखाइए, मैं आपका शिष्य बनना चाहता हूं. सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, whatsoever knowledge, cerebrum, experience, and what God has given him, his entire wisdom, he shares with us every Sunday morning at 9:30. और इन्होंने मेरे साथ एक शपथ ली है और मैंने भी इनके साथ एक शपथ ली है, और जो शपथ बहुत ही अच्छी है. एक हम दोनों ने प्रण किया है, जब तक मेरे श्वास हैं, जब तक मेरा जीवन है. और इन्होंने कहा कि जब तक डॉक्टर शर्मा मेरा जीवन है, प्रोफेसर सतेंद्र धीमान यूनाइटेड स्टेट से, वुडबरी यूनिवर्सिटी, बर्बैंक, कैलिफोर्निया, he will come live with us every Sunday morning talking about India's Upanishad. हमारे इतने सारे वेद, हमारे उपनिषद, हमारे ग्रंथ. आजकल हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की. किसी ने मुझसे पूछा कि उनकी टॉक सुनने के टाइम में हम स्पीचलेस हो जाते हैं, और उन्हें सुनने के टाइम में एक बार सुनने से हमको लगता है कि मन भरा नहीं. तो मैं आज सबको बताना चाहूंगा कि आप फेसबुक पर भी जा सकते हैं और आप यूट्यूब पर भी जा सकते हैं। डॉक्टर गुलशन शर्मा का चैनल आप खोलिए, जितने भी कन्वर्सेशन इनके साथ आज तक हुए हैं वो सब के सब डॉक्टर गुलशन शर्मा के पेज पर हैं। जब तक श्वास है, भारत की संस्कृति और भारत के कल्चर को विश्व तक हम पहुंचाते रहेंगे, आप लोगों के साथ जुड़ते रहेंगे, क्योंकि यही एक माध्यम है, यही एक रास्ता है जिसे पुनः सारे संसार को पता लगेगा कि भारत विश्व गुरु, भारत से संस्कृति कैसे शुरू हुई। तो दिस संडे you all are requested, invited, and a hearty welcome to all of you. Come and join us for the next 3 chapters of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. That is, and हम सिर्फ उपनिषद और गीता की बातचीत नहीं कर रहे हैं, इसका रेलेवेंस एजुकेशन में क्या है, पढ़ाई लिखाई में, चाहे आप इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं, मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं, स्कूल में है, कॉलेज में है, प्रिंसिपल है, टीचर है, एजुकेटर है, काउंसलर है, टेक्नोक्रेट है, आप किसी भी प्रोफेशन में हैं, इसका संबंध क्या है आज की पढ़ाई लिखाई से। अरे भाई, पढ़ाई लिखाई थ्योरेटिकल, जिसमें सब्जेक्ट और मार्क्स का कोई क्राइटेरिया नहीं है। कोई माँ बाप अपने बच्चों को ये ना कहे तुम्हारा गोल्ड मेडल आना चाहिए, तुम्हारे 98% मार्क्स आने चाहिए, वो नहीं चाहिए। बच्चा क्या बन रहा है, बच्चा किस डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है। और एक बात और समझ लीजिए, मैं टीचर्स के साथ नहीं हूँ, मैं प्रिंसिपल्स के साथ नहीं हूँ, मैं वाइस चांसलर्स के साथ नहीं हूँ, मैं एजुकेटर्स के साथ नहीं हूँ, मैं बच्चों के साथ हूँ। मैं बच्चों का पिता और बच्चों का ग्रैंड पिता हूँ। मैं बच्चों के साथ हूँ, मैं किसी और के साथ नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि आज की जो युवा पीढ़ी है उससे हमको बहुत कुछ सीखना है। माई सन इज माई टीचर, माई डॉटर इज माई टीचर, आई लर्न फ्रॉम बोथ ऑफ देम, दे टीच मी सो मच, every time I pick up so much from them. My daughter-in-law, she teaches me कि डैड आप थोड़ा सा ये देखिए, पापा ये नई चीज क्या है, इसको देखिए, इसको समझिए। मैं और आप शायद अपने मोबाइल फोन को व्हाट्सएप और कॉल और एसएमएस और 2-4 चीजों के लिए यूज करते हैं। Do you know that mobile phone has got more than 4,000 usage? Our younger generation knows. Let's learn. There's no shame. There's nothing to feel bad about it. We all have to pick up from our younger generation. अब आ गया हमारा संडे इवनिंग, शाम को 5 बजे हम लोग भारतीय समय के हिसाब से। अब आप कहोगे 5 बजे क्यों? 5 बजे इसलिए क्योंकि उस समय आसियान में 8 बजे होते हैं, 8:30 बजे होते हैं, 9 बजे होते हैं, डिफरेंट टाइम जोन्स हैं। और आसियान के 650 मिलियन पीपल, और उसी के साथ साथ आगे जापान में, साउथ कोरिया में, और जितनी कंट्री, ताइवान से भी लोग जुड़ रहे हैं। आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल टू ऑल ऑफ देम, दे ऑल आर कमिंग ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर, दिस program is at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. That is every Sunday in the evening. Would they join us from world over? I'm thankful to my president also. He joins from Thailand every evening. Every evening he's there, and he feels so happy that we are trying to bring the global fraternity and the humanity closer by means of global peace, global harmony, global wellness, and global education together. At the same time, I'm also grateful to Dato Ramesh Kodamalji, who's in Malaysia. He also joins every evening. Look at him. He is giving so much of strength and so much of support. I'm also thankful to all chambers right in all the 10 countries. Those join us every evening. I'm so grateful to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, 15th of July, very important day. ऐसा क्या है 15 जुलाई को? 15th of July is World Youth Skills Day. जो कौशलता की बातचीत करते हैं, हम स्किल की बातचीत करते हैं, पूरे वर्ल्ड के अंदर यूनाइटेड नेशन ने ये डे डिक्लेयर किया हुआ है। आई एम थैंकफुल टू यूनेस्को इन इंडिया, मिस्टर एरिक, मिस्टर ओमार, एंड हुमा मैम, एंड ऑल द पीपल दोज आर देयर इन इंडिया। आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल टू ऑल ऑफ यू, यू आर वंडरफुल पीपल, ऑल ऑफ यू, यू आर गिविंग सो मच। International Labour Organization, International Finance Corporation, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, all of you, those join us and those are a part of this ecosystem, this journey. I'm so grateful to you. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, 1.86 billion. When I talk about youth world over, can you imagine the population of the world when I'm talking about? How many youth are at present at home? Those are not going to school, colleges, institutions. लेकिन बड़ा सेंसिटिव है, बच्चों को तभी निकालेंगे हम बाहर जब सारा कुछ ठीक हो जाए, व्यवस्थाएं ठीक हो जाएं, सिस्टम ठीक हो जाए, बिकॉज दिस कोरोना वायरस is giving so much of not only physical problem but a mental kind of a difficulty also. But remain mentally robust. You got to read a book of Tim Grover, Indian, who is in America. माइकल जॉर्डन का कोच, उसकी किताब पढ़िए, उसके वीडियोस देखिए. You will come to know what is mental robustness. Then you will come to know. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we are talking about the youth, we are focusing on women empowerment. Because when I read more and more, when we educate boys and when we educate men, we educate individual. When we educate female, when we educate women, that time we educate 7 subsequent generation. क्योंकि जो बच्चियां हैं, जो बालिकाएं हैं, जो girls हैं, when they get educated, they carry so much with them in the subsequent generation. जिम्मेदारी संग नारी भर रही है उड़ान, ना कोई शिकायत, ना कोई थकान. They always cooperate with the parents so much, with the brothers also. So all brothers, you got to take care of your sisters. All parents, we would request you, focus on education. बच्चों को कुछ मत दीजिए, कोई चीज मत दीजिए बच्चों को शिक्षा दे दीजिए, बच्चों को पढ़ाई दे दीजिए, बच्चों को अच्छी एजुकेशन दे दीजिए, बच्चे अपने आप आगे बढ़ जाएंगे. Now, our chamber, wonderful day. It's going to be a historic day. 12th of August, Wednesday, is a World Youth Day celebrations. When we talk about World Youth Day, that means from the world over, from the different countries, we are going to get 1 lakh youth together on a common platform, and our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, from morning 9 a.m. to the evening 9 p.m., 12 hours non-stop, continuous program we are going to have to empower the entire youth world over. ये युवा पीढ़ी का दिन होगा, यूथ का दिन होगा, यूथ ही सब कुछ करेंगे, यूथ ही सब कुछ आगे लेके चलेंगे. स्कूल एजुकेशन, स्कूल के बच्चे, हायर एजुकेशन के बच्चे, recognition, honors, awards, and giving them so much of time. We would like to listen to the younger generation. इनके पास बहुत क्रिएटिविटी है, बहुत आइडियाज हैं, इनको सुनेंगे, इनसे बातचीत करेंगे. And all of us, we will get together on 12th of August, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful day it's going to be. Don't forget, music therapy in education is so positive. It's a positive dopamine. Agar, if you want to talk positive, think positive, dream positive, eat positive, and all the time positive, music सुनिए, म्यूजिक एंजॉय कीजिए. गाना नहीं गाते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, गाना सुनिए, लेकिन अच्छे गाने सुनिए. सैड सॉन्ग मत सुनिएगा, अच्छे बढ़िया गाने सुनिएगा. आप देखिए आपके म्यूजिक से आपके दिमाग में, आपके जिस्म में, आपकी बॉडी में, आपके सिस्टम में, आपके जितने भी सिस्टम के अंदर जो कुछ भी फंक्शनल है, आपके पूरी बॉडी के अंदर पॉजिटिविटी पॉजिटिविटी और पॉजिटिविटी आएगा, और ये कहेगा आई कैन डू इट, I must do it, I will do it, I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. हर एक यूथ के दिमाग में ये बात आएगी. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the last slide as far as ICSI journey is concerned. So something positive when we are talking about what is there to convey. Wish to tell every educator, every teacher, every counselor, every psychologist, whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with youth, और हर एक युवा पीढ़ी के बच्चे को भी मैं कहना चाहूंगा, एंजाइटी नाम की कोई चीज नहीं, डिप्रेशन कुछ नहीं होता, स्ट्रेस कुछ नहीं होता, नेगेटिविटी मत लेके आओ, पॉजिटिविटी को रखो. ऑलवेज से आपके दिमाग से एक दिन के अंदर, माय मेंटोर लेस ब्राउन, आई विल बी गेटिंग हिम सून ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लेटफॉर्म. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a person from whom I picked up so much. I respect him, I adore him. उसकी तरह से और भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं. शिव खेरा जी ने भारत में पहली किताब अपनी जब यू कैन विन, व्हाट अ ब्यूटीफुल बुक. एंड उसके बाद कितने ही और यंग हमारे मासेस आते गए, जुड़ते गए, और वो सब मोटिवेटर्स बनते गए. मैं उन सबको अपनी ब्लेसिंग्स देना चाहूंगा एट द एज ऑफ 70, बट आई थिंक लाइक दैट ऑफ ए 20-year-old boy. And till last breath, I want to remain 20. I want to think 20. I want to be walking, talking, dreaming, everything like a 20-year-old child, because then only I'll remain student. I want to remain a child. I want to remain a student. Let the child always live in me. That will keep me positive. That will keep me young. That will keep me energetic. And that will keep me always agile to learn something new. So, ladies and gentlemen, world over, people, those are joining this particular program, all of you, I make a humble request to you. देखिए, भारत में नमस्कार और ये शुरू से प्रणाम की एक प्रथा चली आई। इस कोरोना वायरस में सबके हाथ जुड़वा दिए और कोई किसी से गले नहीं मिलना चाहता। सब हाथ ही जोड़ना चाहते और सब हाथ जोड़ते हुए कहते नमस्कार, आपको प्रणाम है। तो मैं भी इस मोबाइल के और इस डिजिटल के माध्यम से आपके वेबिनार में, आपके फेसबुक में आप सबको प्रणाम करते हुए, आई एम द मोस्ट हम्बल स्टूडेंट एंड यू ऑल आर माय टीचर्स। आपकी एज से कुछ नहीं होता, एज से कुछ नहीं, बायोलॉजिकल एज कुछ नहीं है, आपकी एज कुछ भी हो, लेकिन आप मेरे टीचर हैं। मुझे आज की शाम आप सबसे कुछ सीखना है, कुछ नया सीखना है। सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, what is the statement which comes from the ICSI and from my soul? First of all, it's not a communication, it is connecting. When I say connecting, that means connecting heart to heart, connecting soul to soul, connecting mind to mind, all of us together this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, remember this statement. It's a way back early, जब 1900 कुछ शुरू हुआ, तो वहां पर ये स्टेटमेंट आई। और आप जब इस किताब को पढ़ेंगे, मैं किसी दिन आपसे शेयर करूंगा। ब्यूटीफुल स्टेटमेंट ही गेव। इसके 17 चैप्टर्स हैं, जितनी बार मैं पढ़ता हूं उसमें से एक सेंटेंस उभर के आता है। और मेरे लेस ब्राउन भी कहते हैं जब मैं उनको सुनता हूं, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, व्हेनेवर यू गो फॉर ए मॉर्निंग वॉक, कनाडा में, यूएसए में और लैटिन अमेरिका में आप मॉर्निंग वॉक के लिए जा रहे होंगे। Whenever you walk early in the morning with someone, either you adjust to somebody's pace or somebody adjusts to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? That is the statement which he gives. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a shame. It's a bad thing if you go from this universe without adding up anything new in this universe. जितने भी लोग इस संसार में आए हैं, परमात्मा ने, ईश्वर ने, अल्लाह ने, प्रभु ने, जिसने हमको भेजा है, सबको कोई गिफ्ट दी है, सबको कोई ना कोई गिफ्ट दी है। उस गिफ्ट को बाहर निकालिए, otherwise you'll be going to the graveyard without adding up anything substantial on this planet and this universe. So ladies and gentlemen, add value in the universe, add value to somebody जिसके भी आप संपर्क में हैं, जिनके भी आप कांटेक्ट में हैं, जिनसे भी आप मिलते हैं। पॉजिटिविटी लाइए, वार्म रहिए, पॉजिटिव रहिए, हैप्पी रहिए, एनर्जेटिक रहिए। दैट इज द वे यू गॉट टू बी। सो लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, व्हाटएवर ह्यूमन माइंड कैन कंसीव एंड बिलीव, इट कैन अचीव। You got to conceive the idea, you got to believe in the idea, and you can achieve the idea. हमारा एक ही प्रण है कि 15 अगस्त तक जो हमारा इंडिया का, भारत का स्वतंत्रता दिवस, हमारा जो प्रधानमंत्री के साथ जो झंडा लहराया जाना है 15 अगस्त को, तब तक हमको 1 मिलियन लोगों को पूरे वर्ल्ड से इस पर्टिकुलर वेबिनार में, इस पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम में जोड़ना है। आप यूथ हैं, आप टीचर हैं, आप एजुकेटर हैं, आप पेरेंट्स हैं, आप कोई भी हैं, जो लोग फेसबुक पर जुड़ रहे हैं, अपना नाम डालिए, अपना ईमेल डालिए, अपना कंट्री डालिए, अपनी स्टेट डालिए, आपका कहां किस जगह पर आप हैं, और अपना मोबाइल नंबर डालिए, हमारे साथ जुड़िए। आपको हम यहाँ पर एक ईमेल भी दे रहे हैं, innovation@icsi.asia. When I talk about this email, it's very important. अगर आप पैनलिस्ट बनना चाहते हैं, आप कोई सजेशन भेजना चाहते हैं, तो आप भेज सकते हैं। It would be a pleasure to have that. At the same time, if you want to come from anywhere from the world on the WhatsApp, send a small WhatsApp to us. Our team will get in touch with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाते हुए आज की शाम शुरू करते हैं, आज की इवनिंग स्टार्ट करते हैं। एंड आई विश टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, आज की शाम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। एजुकेशन के साथ साथ MSME सेक्टर के बारे में बातचीत होगी। हमारे जो डिस्टिंग्विश गेस्ट आए हुए हैं, हमारे जो आज के शाम के वॉरियर और सेलिब्रिटी हैं, क्योंकि जो भी यहाँ बोलने आता है, जो भी इस प्रोग्राम में आता है, दे आर सेलिब्रिटी, दे आर वॉरियर्स, लाइक डॉक्टर्स, लाइक नर्सेज, लाइक पैरामेडिकल, क्योंकि वो भी ह्यूमैनिटी में जोड़ रहे हैं। आर चेंबर, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, before the retirement of Dr. Arun Kumar Panda ji, the secretary sahab, we made numerous presentations to him. We made lots of roadmaps and papers from our chamber ICSI, and we gave it to the ministry. At the same time, we sent across to the ministry also, we sent across a lot of proposals, and we had more than 10 to 12 meetings with Shri Ram Mohan Mishra ji, Additional Secretary and Development also, Government of India. We are so grateful to him. We are so thankful to him. We submitted the paper to Sarangi Sahab also, before that to Giriraji also. And we are so proud of it. We are so happy and we are so proud. क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर और सर्विसेज सेक्टर में पहले थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में ज्यादा जोर था, सर्विसेज में कम जोर था. बट आई विश टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू दैट नितिन गडकरी जी के आने के बाद, सारंगी जी के आने के बाद, अभी नए सेक्रेटरी साहब भी आ गए और उनके साथ साथ नई टीम भी आ गई. लेकिन हमारे सारे रोड मैप मिनिस्ट्री में, एंड आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल टू NSIC also, the entire ministry also, सब लोगों ने मिलकर हमने जितने भी रोड मैप मिनिस्ट्री में सबमिट किए, finally it saw the daylight that services sector got merged and it became one policy, it became one platform where the manufacturing and the services came together. International Chamber for Service Industry conveys its deep gratitude and thanks to the entire ministry and everybody whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with the entire project. So ladies and gentlemen, now, as I mentioned to you, our focus every evening to get one celebrity with us to share his thought processes or her thought processes with us. But at the same time, there's a women empowerment also. हम 6 बच्चियों को रोज लेके आते हैं, 6 girls को रोज लेके आते हैं under the women empowerment. So this evening, after sharing the views with our honorable distinguished guest this evening, we would also be having a thought process. ये 6 बच्चे हमसे बातचीत करेंगे नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के बारे में, और ये बच्चे धन्यवाद करेंगे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन को, जो पहले मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ HRD था, और ये भी धन्यवाद करेंगे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया को और पूरी कैबिनेट को, जिन लोगों ने मिलकर एक नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी को, और खासकर जितने भी लोग मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ HRD के अंदर और अब मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन में हैं, और जितने भी स्कूल में हैं, कॉलेजेस में हैं, पॉलिटेक्निक्स में, ITIs में हैं, जितने भी लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, उन सबको आज की शाम अपनी शुभकामनाएं देते हुए ये 6 बच्चे उन लोगों के साथ बातचीत करेंगे. So ladies and gentlemen, like it happens in the film industry and like it happens whenever you have the Filmfare Awards and you always get the celebrity on the stage, let me introduce the warrior who is going to share this evening with us, who is going to share his thought process with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome to Shri Ravindra Nath ji, the former chairman and managing director, National Small Industries Corporation, who has contributed so much substantial to the MSME sector. We were very fortunate. We had lots of meetings and lots of greetings and sharing the knowledge and reservoirs and couple of things together. Shri Ravindra Nath ji served as the chairman and managing director of National Small Industries Corporation, a public sector enterprise of the Government of India. It is directly under the Ministry of MSME till September 2018. But he has got lots of experience and lots of reservoir and lots of knowledge which is to be shared with all of us. Besides this, Shri Nath ji, he held senior positions of the corporate head of finance in the public and private sector. By profession, he is a chartered accountant. I wish to share with all of you. Shri Nath ji, he has over 3 decades of experience in various areas of finance, accounts, and management. Shri Ravindra Nath ji, he has worked on the various initiatives to achieve inclusive growth in the country, particularly in the micro, small, and medium enterprise. Shri Nath was actively engaged in promotion and development of the MSMEs, as well as entrepreneurship development, creating collaborative environment to promote technology transfer, joint ventures between MSME, both in India and overseas. A lot of foreign projects and a lot of foreign collaborations had come during his tenure. I would request him to share with all of us this evening. Shri Ravindra Nath ji, he has been conferred with the several awards, including CMD of the Year Award in June 2015 for his exemplary role in promotion and development of the MSME sector in India. Outstanding Leadership Award conferred by the 4th and the top rankers in 2018 for achieving business excellence through creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very historic day. Today is a wonderful day. Today, two things are taking place. One is the new education policy. Heartiest congratulations, deep gratitude, and thanks to everybody. And how new education policy, when we talk about from school education to the higher education to the vocational education to the skills and competencies, it is going to be taken care of with the Ministry of Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise, where the corporate, where the academia, and where the government got to be together on a common platform. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let me remove the curtains and let me get today's celebrity and today's warrior to share his thought process and his experience and the rich reservoir which he has got. I extend a very hearty welcome on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, ICSI, Shri Ravindra Nath. A very, very hearty welcome to you. And with these words, sir, we extend you a very hearty welcome. Let's share your thought process, your journey, whatever way you wish to take on, because we wish to listen to you more and more, and whatsoever best we can take forward to the world, because it's a global fraternity which is joining us from the whole world. Let's make optimum use of your experience and cerebrum with the entire global fraternity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Well, I must admit that in the last 6 to 7 months, while the world has been put in a grip of fear by the pandemic, the fear of infection, the fear of health concerns, the fear of income loss, the fear of survival for businesses, all these deeply altering the psyche of every conscious person. And in India, we have seen the largest reverse migration in the history, with people moving from the cities to rural areas due to the panic created by the pandemic. But as they say, everything has a silver lining. And according to me, the silver lining has been the program of yours, our beloved Dr. Gulshan Sharma, and his inspiring words. And also, I would be feeling, if I do not say from my heart, the address made every Sunday by Professor Dhiman when he talks about Bhagavad Gita. So I'll just take a cue from both of you, and I will just like to say 2 lines. Shankhe agar rahi, shankhe means branches. Shankhe agar rahi to patte bhi aayenge. The leaves will also come. Ye din agar bure hain, to अच्छे भी आएंगे. Dr. Gulshan Sharma, you're there? Hello?
But I don't want to interrupt you. I'm enjoying. Okay. I'm enjoying.
Fine. So I just wanted to start by putting in a few words of encouragement, and wherein I just recited these 2 lines, where I'll just repeat for the sake of those. शाखें अगर रही तो पत्ते भी आएंगे, ये दिन अगर बुरे हैं तो अच्छे भी आएंगे. And one person who always reminds me of this is our beloved Prime Minister, who always talks about अच्छे दिन आएंगे. And even in these testing moments, in testing times, he talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat. He mentioned about the 5 pillars, and amongst these 5 pillars, where he mentioned about economy, he mentioned about infrastructure, he mentioned about systems, he mentioned about demand, but he did not forget the strength of India, which is the vibrant demography. And you have very rightly addressed that the new education policy is there. I'll come to that in a little while. But I would also like to just highlight a few points about the Indian demography. It is being said that by 2022, the median age of India would be just 28, while that in China and USA will be 37. In Western Europe, it will be 45, and in Japan, it will be 49. So if we say that we are going to be a young nation, these facts prove it. And also, 18% of the world population is in India, with 600 million people under the age of 25 years. India has the largest workforce by 2027. India will be having the largest workforce by 2027, with 1 billion people aged in the age group of 15 and 64. Even today, 1.3 million people are entering the working age population every month. And as you also said, we have a huge school-going students, 250 million school-going students, more than any other country in the world. There are other factors. When we talk about the demography, 35% of the population in urban India lives in urban India, which means 65% is in rural India. It's a challenge, and we saw what was happening when we saw this migration. And on the issue of migration, let me admit, I take the figures from 2011 census of migration by NSSO, that almost 400 million population, or 1/3 of India, migrated in search of jobs. While we all are delighted to know that we will be the youngest nation in the world, we will have such advantage of the youth in India, but these are all pointers of the challenges which put before us. Before I come to the topic, I would like to highlight a few other factors. And they are that education, senior, beyond higher secondary, it is available to only 10% of the university age population in India, which means a large section still has to be covered under that. And as most Indians say, that they have no access to quality education. I'm sure the new education policy which is there, which you have mentioned briefly, and I'll also be touching upon, we will be coming to that. Also, those who have been educated so far, the challenge before is that the industry says that most of them, a big percentage of them, are unemployable because they do not possess the technical and technological skills in today's market. Only 3% of the country's total population is vocationally or professionally trained, as against the percentage of 60 to 70% in developed countries. If I may mention the percentage of South Korea, it is 96%. So India has to travel quite a distance. There is another very big important factor, is there is an acute lack of awareness to the available government-run skill development program. Government is doing a lot of efforts, but the problem is, it doesn't reach, it doesn't percolate down the line. There was a recent survey, and it was noticed that 40% of the participants were not even aware of the National Apprentices Scheme 2015. When we have the industry on one side, we have the educated youth on another side, the National Apprentices Scheme is a very important thing which the government has introduced. अगर इन चीजों की जानकारी ही नहीं रहेगी, तो दुर्भाग्य केवल हमारे यूथ का ही है, हमारी इंडस्ट्री का ही है. Look at the paradox faced by India. There is a significant youth unemployment. On the other side, the private sector bemoans, complains that there is lack of adequately skilled and market-ready workers. There has to be something done to make the balance, to bring the imbalance out and bring the balance in. And also, I would like to mention that today's kid, when he graduates to a very difficult job market, where skills matter more than the signaling value of the education which he gets. क्या आता है आपको, ये डिग्री लेके आए हो, इससे कुछ नहीं. And energy, matters more than experience. And I'm sure, sir, people who hear you are always charged to the maximum. If there was any meter which would measure it, I'm sure from the time you start the program to the time you conclude the program, their energy levels would be definitely beyond 100%. So coming to what the kids are facing today, I would like to suggest, and I'll be coming to that in the later part, the training initiatives have to be demand-driven. The skills imparted have to be matching the industry requirements. So you were mentioning about technology. While this pandemic has brought out the strengths of the technology and shown that how distance doesn't matter and we can remain connected wherever we are, but the fourth industrial revolution is again coming as a looming threat to those who are already qualified, those who are already working. And it is being said that automation is likely to render a very big percent people as obsolete in the coming decades. If I may just refer to what McKinsey has said, in a report of McKinsey, it has been predicted that almost 800 million people from 42 countries, or almost a third of the workforce, will be displaced because of the fourth industrial revolution. But as a die-hard optimist, which I have always been, मेरा ये मानना है साहब कि फोर्थ आया है तो तीन पहले भी तो आए थे. इंडस्ट्री बड़ी है, घटी नहीं है. As long as the human mind is there, they can always find a solution to every problem which they face. When COVID started, people thought that we would not be able to come out of it. And now almost every country is coming out with some vaccine or the other. And this makes me again mention two lines to you. संघर्ष जितना बड़ा होगा, जीत उतनी ही शानदार होगी. तो यही स्थिति हमारे चैलेंजेस में भी होगी, ऐसा मेरा पूरा मानना है. और जैसे आपने कहा साहब कि बड़ा ही ये महत्वपूर्ण दिन है हमारे लिए, जहां की हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने और पूरी कैबिनेट ने देश के समक्ष तकरीबन 34 सालों के बाद एक नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी प्रस्तुत करी है. मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पूरा देश गर्वान्वित महसूस कर रहा होगा और इसका पूरा लाभ उठाएगा. और ना केवल बच्चे, बट मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले समय में टीचर्स भी इससे प्रभावित होंगे और अच्छी चीजें आएंगी. आपने अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में उनको बताया, बट मैं जल्दी से उनको आपके समक्ष दोबारा रखना चाहूंगा कि 10+2 का जो बोर्ड स्ट्रक्चर अभी तक होता था उसको हटा के अब एक नया स्ट्रक्चर उन्होंने रखा है, स्कूल स्ट्रक्चर, जिसमें कि 5+3+3+4 ये स्ट्रक्चर आया है. और उन्होंने एक चीज और कही है कि 3 साल तक की आयु के बच्चे, उनके पेरेंट्स उनको पढ़ाए और 3 से 6 साल तक वो प्री स्कूल में जाएं और अपनी तैयारी करें स्कूल आने के लिए. और पहली से 5वीं कक्षा तक प्री स्कूल कहा जाएगा और 6ठी से 8वीं कक्षा को मिडिल लेवल का स्कूल माना जाएगा और 6ठी कक्षा से ही वो वोकेशनल कोर्सेज भी अवेलेबल होंगे. जो अभी तक ये महसूस किया जा रहा था कि बच्चे they get the education but they have no exposure to the vocations, and at times it was that even after the 12th standard people hardly knew anything about what vocations are and what other things are. It is the call of the day, and I would say the need of the hour in the world today, that our children will get exposed. 8th to 11th will be called high school, and it is in the 8th standard, it is in these years that the children will be able to choose their subjects. But the best part is the 12th standard onwards will be graduation. And as you said, sir, the graduation will be for 4 years. And the icing on the cake is the graduation course will have a mixture of majors and minors. Like you said, if a science student studies physics, he can also study minor as music. I am reminded of the movie Three Idiots, where howsoever brilliant they may be, उस बच्चे के दिल में था कि मुझे फोटोग्राफर बनना है। अपने पिता को बोल नहीं सकता था कि मुझे फोटोग्राफर बनना है, मुझे कैमरा लेके दीजिए, कि कहाँ मुझे इस कॉलेज में डाल रहे हो, मेरा समय बेकार कर रहे हो। बट I am sure that with all these educational movies which we have been exposed to, even the last Chichore was also on a similar lines. The parents have seen how passionate the children are today in developing skills beyond education also. And I'm sure, sir, this will be doing a world of good to our children. The credit appraisal system, the credit system for graduation has also undergone a very beautiful change, which is being proposed. And I'm sure once the parliament approves it, it will all be in place. As for this, no child will be losing any year whether they are not able to complete it. If the child leaves after 1 year, they get a basic certificate. If they leave after 2 years, they get a diploma certificate. And if they complete the entire education, they get the complete degree certificate. There are further other things. I'm sure everybody would be reading the education policy. I need not get into the nitty-gritties of it. But one thing which has been brought out very clearly is the new policy carries a vision of creating an education system that contributes directly to transforming the country, providing high quality education to all, and making India a global knowledge superpower. हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी की ये इच्छा है कि हमारा जो मुल्क है वो ग्लोबल पावर बने, नॉलेज का भी सुपर पावर बने। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जो नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी उन्होंने प्रस्तुत करी है, अपनी अप्रूवल के साथ रखी है, इससे पूरा देश ही प्रभावित होगा। और जैसे आपने कहा, जब एजुकेशन सिस्टम इंप्रूव होगा, टुडे एवरीथिंग इज being noticed in terms of economics. What revenues come out of it? And I'm sure the education, investments in education of 6% of the GDP, which will be a quantum jump from what it is today, will also be generating a lot of revenues for our country. But now keeping a look at what is the demography, what is the education policy, I would like to touch base upon the expectations and the way forward. So we are the youngest nation. Even today, we are much better than quite a few in the world. Very young workforce and immense opportunities knocking around us. Look at what happened to COVID. Look at how the industries are beginning to move from other countries and they're looking at India. These all show that there are opportunities for a country and it is for us to grab them. But there are two big assets for India, the data and the human capital. And both of them are at very cheap rates. The data is in abundance. And also, what we need to do is to leverage the optimism of the youth and support the proliferation of high quality education and training opportunities. What we are going to show. The data, when everybody talks about Amazon, Flipkart, Tata, the online commerce and social networks are providing tons and tons of data for analytics. So this is huge value which needs to be analyzed, cleaned, filtered by the government or other organizations from the huge number of records and reports which are available. Why I say this? Because once you have this, then you can decide and pinpoint the areas which require special attention. I'm gradually coming to the point and the topic of today, but then we need to know in which environment are we working. This data, if we ignore, probably we will be almost working like the blind people touching the elephant and facing that this is this and this is that. We should not be behaving like that, and we should all be using the technology, using the knowledge which is available with us. And who are the people who are required? As you also rightly mentioned, the majority stakeholders. The majority stakeholders are the academia, the industry, and the government. And all these three need to synergize their efforts in bringing the best from our country which everybody expects. What is expected of academia? I'll just touch base upon a few points. They need to build the curriculum which sets up the foundations for attitude, for skills, and for knowledge. I would repeat, sir, attitude, skills, and knowledge towards work and career. The curriculum should be made in such a way, and I'm sure the broad guidelines will be determined by the education policy. They need to set the foundation for attitude, skills, and knowledge towards work and career. The youth should be made to learn, unlearn, and relearn, and create that attitude, inculcate in the students that attitude to learn, unlearn, and relearn from the school time itself. It should not be a situation like I was talking to a chartered accountant friend of mine who said, जो 12वीं में हमने या 11वीं में हमने जो कॉमर्स पढ़ी थी, आज उसका क्या हमें फायदा मिलता है? So we need to have an attitude to learn, unlearn, and relearn right from the school time. That attitude should be built. And the knowledge should be practically oriented, not merely theoretical. We need to increase the uptake of work-related learning and qualifications in the senior phase of school, which has been done, which has been at least promised in the new education policy. And the focus also has shifted from developing entrepreneurial and behavior skills along with the technical skills. From the industry, because they all work in conjunction. For the industry, what is expected is they should be co-creating the curriculum. They should be involving themselves in creating the curriculum and support the train the trainers programs. Unless we have the trained people at the helm of affairs who would be engaging with the youth, it would be a futile exercise. I also expect the industry to frequently visit the campuses so that let the students know what skills are in demand, and they provide career counseling to the students. No better person than the industry. And I'll come, sir, how did we at NSIC, my previous organization, how did we utilize all these things? We also need to have new standards for work experience across the variety of industries. This will help in getting a feel of what workforce will be like and shall provide the youth with a well-rounded sense of direction for the career path. A few things from the industry, but coming to what the government talks about, what is expected from the government. So today, while I was mentioning that there is a big dearth of awareness, there is also a need for creating a central digital platform for delivery of real-time data and insights on jobs and talents available. People should know what sort of a talent is available with them. And it is all scattered today. I would suggest it needs to be centralized. In a country as big as ours, why should somebody run around at different locations and different portals? Why not we have a centralized portal where all the requirements are put in, where all the available resources are put in, and anybody and everybody can tap their requirements from that. I would also, this will enable, this portal can also be utilized for building awareness of the government initiatives. I only mentioned about the National Apprentices Program not being known. So there are several good schemes which are inculcating the sense of entrepreneurship today, helping in trainings and all that, which is the need of the hour today, but awareness is slightly, it leaves much to be desired. I would also suggest that the government should re-evaluate the distribution of welfare. And on this topic, if I would mention, as I said in your last program also, the Manrega contribution should be channelized slightly towards engaging and bringing the workforce back to the mainstream of their activities. So it is being said, it's a saying which says that give a person a fish and you feed that person for a day. You teach a person to fish and you feed them for a lifetime. Let us use the government welfare programs for inculcating these skills into those people. We have recently seen, I mentioned that 65% of our population is in rural areas. You saw a huge exodus of people, the migrant labor remigrating back to the rural areas, to the places from where they had come. And I just like to sum up that education, employment, and entrepreneurship. Education, employment, and entrepreneurship are all closely interlinked. If they are well connected and form the key components of an ecosystem, economic development is totally assured. Now, I'd like to mention, sir, that I had mentioned a little while back that only 10% of the youth of the university age population are able to go beyond the higher secondary level or the school level. I also mentioned that the industry says that most of these people are not trained to the requirements of the industry. So we need to have solutions for both of them. And what better solution than entrepreneurship in today's times? Before I tell as to what has been done in the present times, I would like to mention a few yesteryear success stories. Every child is so inquisitive because your program is being watched by several children also. Every child is so inquisitive, they have this reason to ask, ऐसे कैसे? ऐसा क्यों? पहले कभी हुआ था? बताइए कैसे हुआ था? So just to address some of these people and to tell that our country, if it was called the Sone ki Chidiya, in those historical days, we also had some leading, I would say, luminaries of industry who showed themselves as role models for the children of today. And I'll give a few examples of that. And since you were mentioning about women power, sir, and all these success stories which I'm going to narrate, the theme which they carried, in my view, was this: जीवन वो नहीं जो हमें मिला है, जीवन वो नहीं जो हमें मिला है, जीवन वह है जो हम बनाते हैं. And when I share with you all these success stories of mine, which I'm brought, India has huge number of success stories. I picked out a few out of them, which I also remembered that were there in the archives of NSIC. So they carried a special. But I'll top it all by starting off with, as you rightly pointed out, sir, you said about women empowerment. And women empowerment reminds me of the best success story in India of how people with passion can do it is the story of Shri Mahila Griha Udyog Lijjat Papad. Sir, Lijjat is something which is known to everyone in our country from the north to the south, and their spirit has taken it across the boundaries of our country. And let me tell you, Lijjat was started on 15th of March 1959 by 7 lady members with a borrowed sum of 80 rupees. 7 lady members with a borrowed sum of 80 rupees on 15th of March 1959 at a place called Girgaon in Mumbai. And today, this cooperative has annual sales running into billions. Sir, this is what is women empowerment. They have offices across the country. And what else? I also am reminded of another lady. Even today, she is doing such a good amount of work. I'm reminded of Kiran Majumdar Shaw, or the other name after her is Baikon. So she started with a paltry investment of 10,000 in 1974. 10,000 in 1974, and today we all know, the world knows what Kiran Majumdar Shaw is and what Biocon is. Then another beautiful success story is of Nirma soap. It is of Karsan Bhai Patel. So he has a very interesting story. He used to work as a lab assistant. And what he did after office hours was, he used to go on a bicycle selling detergent packets door to door, pricing them at 3 per kg. And you know who were his competitors at that time? Surf, Unilever. After 3 years, Karsan Bhai Patel quit his job, and today he is addressed as Dr. Karsan Bhai Patel. I also am reminded of Ranbaxy. In today's times, we always look for medicines. And the name which comes after Ranbaxy is Bhai Mohan Singh. And you know, sir, Ranbaxy is a fusion of 2 brothers' names. They were the cousins of Bhai Mohan Singh. Bhai Mohan Singh's brothers were Ranjit and Gurbakh Singh. So Ran and Baks made them as Ranbaxy. And Bhai Mohan Singh, when they defaulted in August 1952, these 2 brothers, Bhai Mohan Singh picked them up at a small amount of 2.5 lakhs. You would have seen where Ranbaxy is today. Let us not forget the most revered in the automobile sector, Dr. Brij Mohanlal Munjal. In 1972, he started, and today Hero Group is a conglomerate. Mr. Narayan Murthy, July 1981, with 6 other professionals, with names like Mr. Nilekhani, Mr. S. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. Ashok Arora, Mr. N.S. Raghavan, they all pooled their savings of 10,000 rupees, largely borrowed from their wives. And today, every child in the IT sector looks forward to working with Infosys. Most of us use Airtel connections, and who better than Mr. Sunil Bharti Mittal, the Bharti Group founder. He started his first business in 1976 at the age of 18 with a capital investment of 20,000, which he borrowed from his father. And as a die-hard Punjabi, I am also reminded of Mr. Vikas Khanna. So, you know, we all know in the food business, in the restaurant business, there is nobody to match Mr. Vikas Khanna, whether it is the dinner organized by Mr. Obama or the dinner organized by Mr. Trump or anybody in Dubai. The name which is there is Vikas Khanna. And if we remember, if you hear his story, he had flat foot, the club-footed child, with hardly any money, with $3 in his pocket when he landed in America, and just see where it is today. Sir, it is all these people who believed that माना के बरगद की तरह विशाल नहीं है हम, माना के बरगद की तरह विशाल नहीं है हम, पर गमलों में लगी तुलसी भी किसी से कम नहीं होती. Sir, it is their faith in themselves which they believed in themselves, and they literally wrote on their minds, माना के बरगद की तरह विशाल नहीं है हम, पर गमलों में लगी तुलसी भी किसी से कम नहीं होती. And the learnings which we carry from each one of them is, when others saw the walls, they saw the doors. When others saw the walls, the obstacles, they saw the doors. And they said, don't dream if you can't fulfill your dreams. It is the vision, it is the dedication, it is the energy, it is the follow-through which made them what they became. And they also said there are opportunities which are plenty. What is needed is a positive mind. For the women, I remember, sir, Shanaz, the herbal industry. She said, in life, you get what you negotiate. In life, you get what you negotiate. Any woman has the capacity to do what I did. It does not matter. What matters is how badly you want it. What matters is how badly you want it. And it is this which leads me to say, सफल होने के लिए सफलता की इच्छा असफलता के भय से अधिक होनी चाहिए. सफल होने के लिए सफलता की इच्छा असफलता के भय से अधिक होनी चाहिए. And they believed in themselves, they carried that passion in themselves, and they became what it is. But then, sir, world doesn't stop. It is these people, some of them, as I said, were in the archives of NSIC. It is these people which told us that we need to go beyond what we have been doing in NSIC. And certain models we developed. And one of the models which I would like to share with the youth, with the school principals, with the academicians, and also with the industry is the model of incubating entrepreneurs. Sir, let me share with you what this was. We thought, well, we are doing for the industry per se, helping them with raw materials, helping them with credit, helping them with marketing, helping them with technology, helping them with trained manpower. But then there is still something required for the youth of this country, especially that youth which lives in the rural areas, that youth which after education has not been able to get the dream employment of his. And what better than Swarozgar, self-employment. That is what we try to inculcate in this youth, sir. So what we did, we started off with the small technologies which are very simple to operate. And on those technologies, we started training these people. And the training was not only left to what was theory, business plan kya hota hai, marketing ke concepts kya hain. No, we expose them to the machines, how they work. I give you an example, sir. बिस्किट बनते हैं. बिस्किट मेकिंग मशीन कैसे होती है? मैं बिस्किट का इसलिए जिक्र किया क्योंकि छोटी उम्र से लेके बड़ी उम्र तक का हर व्यक्ति बिस्किट के बिना अपना दिन पूरा नहीं करता है. उस बिस्किट वाली मशीन के ऊपर बिस्किट बनने के बाद उन स्टूडेंट्स को हम बोलते थे कि बाहर जाके इनको मार्केटिंग करिए. So we expose them to marketing. Then we expose them to the costing of it, helping them in preparing a business plan of theirs and inviting the ex-bankers by who would guide them in preparing a plan which can be submitted to the banks. Because ultimately, sir, Lakshmi के बिना वो अपनी मशीन तो नहीं खरीद सकते. वो पैसा चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम्स में जहां पीएमई जीपी स्कीम में उनको सब्सिडी मिलती है, वो सब्सिडी कैसे मिलेगी उसका उनको बताया जाएगा. But at the same time, helping them in becoming confident to prepare a business plan and submit it to there. So this is how we started, and we had almost gathered 250 different types of technologies, because one thing doesn't serve everyone. There has to be a solution for all and sundry at different parts of the country. And India is a land of abundance, even if we talk about agri-abundance. From Kashmir, where we find that all these pears and apples, they can't travel. From Himachal, the apples can't travel. From Northeast, the ginger and the curcumin, we get the best quality. From Gujarat, we have all these anar and the potatoes and the tomatoes and everything. So all these are just a few examples. Then usage of every day, because I am reminded of what the Prime Minister says when he talks about MSMEs. He says MSME जो हैं वो इंसान की हर जरूरत सर से लेके पांव तक चाहे उसकी कंघी हो या चाहे उसकी चप्पल हो या मोजा हो, वो हर जरूरत एक MSME पूरा कर सकती है। और इसी चीज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए, चाहे वो फिल्टर करके तेल बनाना, चाहे मोजे बनाने, चाहे वो नैपकिन्स बनाने, चाहे वो कैंडल्स बनानी, या कील, या आपके जो घर में लगती हैं what you call these barbed wires, each and every product is something where we started teaching the students. And let me share with you some of these examples. So we are all proud to have this great old man who celebrated 100 years, MDH, Mahashandi Hatti. So he is a pioneer in the masala or the spices sector. We started teaching spice grinding as a thing. And let me share with you, sir, and I have a great sense of pride in telling that there are several people, several youth who learned and said, एक दिन ये बाबा जी को challenge करूंगा सर मैं. So this is what is entrepreneurship. That is what is needed to bring a big change in the youth. अरे नौकरी नहीं मिली ना सही. I will be giving employment rather than seeking employment. That is the spirit which we try to inculcate. I give you another example of we had this occasion where we had invited one of our bureaucrats, a leading bureaucrat, to our center, and we brought in five of the people who had learned biscuit making. Somebody said, I have making so much, I'm buying it so much. There was one who said, sir, पैसे नहीं है मेरे पास, मगर जो NSIC से सीखा उसके बेसिस के ऊपर मैं ऑर्डर लेता हूं और ऑर्डर पे बनवाता हूं. That is also entrepreneurship, sir. He did not give up कि पैसे नहीं है मेरे पास और मैं मशीन नहीं ले सका तो मैं थक हार के बैठ जाऊंगा. We need to inculcate that never say die. We will never give up. There were such young students, girl students, who learned soya milk. So today you go to any health club, and fortunately they are going to open from the 5th of August, the health club, the gyms also. The health clubs, everybody says, and every child today is so particular, ये फैट वाला दूध नहीं पीना है, ये मलाई वाला दूध नहीं पीना है. आजकल के माँ बाप जो हैं वो क्या करते हैं, वो छानते रह जाते हैं, भले फुल क्रीम दूध लेके आते हैं. और उन जैसे बच्चों के लिए हमने सोया मिल्क, machine which costs about 5.5 to 6 lakhs, 6.5 lakhs, and gives employment. Detergent making, nail making, candle making. Sir, you would say that in today's times when we are talking about solar, I'm talking about candle making. But then in this great country of ours, in this great land of ours, there is an opportunity for everyone. And I would like to mention to all the viewers, all the listeners, that this boy, I give you a specific example, this boy who learned candle making started selling his candles outside the churches. Improved the wick of the candle, improved the quality of the wax, and today he is selling to 5-star hotels. Sir, it is these success stories which matter the most for us. And sir, it is this water which all of us drink. But unfortunately, in certain places, there are where we do not get good quality water. We had such a place also where we got an opportunity to work, we got an opportunity to train people. And the success out of that, what I would like to mention, is this boy who set up his own filtration plant, started filtering the water, and started selling them in these plastic bottles. सर प्रधानमंत्री जी तो कहते हैं कि मैं चाय बेच के इस लेवल तक आया, क्या पता कल को ये बच्चा पानी बेच के कहां पहुंच जाएगा. So this land has opportunities for all, but I would not be complete unless I mentioned about the women power. And the fashion industry is today all dominated by the leading men's. But let me tell you, the women are not far behind. And we could see this, how brilliant they are when we trained the housewives into this, the fashion designing segment of ours in the incubation. So we had a parliamentary standing committee coming to our center, and we wanted to showcase some of these success stories to them. And one of them was a housewife who had learned this art of fashion designing. See the confidence in her. When we requested her to come, she said, "Sir, aaj nahi time mere paas, mujhe apne orders dene." A housewife transformed into a business person. That is what the ultimate objective is. And to all these students who have come out of their colleges, who may not have got an opportunity, I would like to suggest, please don't stand in the queue where the jobs are much below your expectations, much below your qualifications. Become your own master and give employment rather than stand in the queue for employment. This is what I would like to say. And let me tell you, sir, the model is so robust. The model which I'm talking about is so robust that the government of India adopted our model. They have set up an Aspire scheme under the ministry where they're giving money to government institutions. Almost up to 1 crore of rupees, I believe. I will update it maybe in the later part of the program or some other time. And for those coming from the private sector, they say 50% you contribute, 50% we'll contribute. I'm not talking about utter innovation and all those things. I'm talking about the grassroots level. There are several schemes. Some other day we will like to educate people as to how they can stand to benefit from the government schemes. But what I'm trying to say is our model was adopted by the government Ministry of MSME, and also, sir, you will be proud to hear, even by the Ministry of External Affairs. The Ministry of External Affairs wanted NSIC to establish incubation centers in 10 different African countries. Sir, the situation is almost the same. They also have the youth. They also have the challenges of unemployment. They also have the challenges that education is not in symmetry with what the industry requires. And ultimately, to address the grumbling of the youth or the disgruntled youth, it is better to put them on the path of training, skill upgradation, and entrepreneurship development. The Ministry of MSME wanted NSIC to set up these centers in 10 countries. Finally, they decided it will be 8 countries. And I say it with a great sense of pride that we have done it in all these 8 countries. And the demand is they want more. I once visited Mauritius, and they also, their president, the then president, came and she saw, who were herself a technology background person. She showed great interest in the technologies which are being displayed and how they can help in setting up self-employment programs and setting up new enterprises by the young entrepreneurs. These models were adopted by other countries on payment basis. And the one which I'd like to mention, because you are from the forces, sir, and it gives me a great sense of pride to share with you that Senegal wanted an incubation center to be established to help their ex-servicemen. We did it, sir, and we helped them in setting up a massive incubation center for training their ex-servicemen so that they can establish their own enterprises. And the beauty was that the output as a part of the training from these centers will become a part of the kit of the servicemen who are there. Then we also worked with the South African government in the province of KwaZulu-Natal and provided 2 incubation centers. It was almost a decade back or a decade and a half back that we did this. And the best part was, at that time, I got a chance to interact with the education minister, and they dovetailed these incubation centers with their colleges, so that the children from the FETs, the further education and training programs, the schools of theirs, the colleges of theirs, they will come, they will work on these machines, learn them, and after the closure of the center, in the evenings, they will come and do the production for their orders which they get. Sir, इसको कहते हैं आम के आम गुठलियों के दाम. And this is what is needed in our country today. This is what the youth is looking for. It should not be a case where we say that a PhD is applying for the job of a peon or a BTech is applying for the job of a havaldar. I'm not trying to demean any of these, but then I'm only trying to give confidence to the people that their education, if they do not get jobs commensurate to that, do not encroach upon the areas of people who are eligible for that as per the requirements. What are we doing? We are throwing them out. We are getting more dissatisfied by saying that we are highly qualified and why should I do this job? Rather look for alternatives by which they can become the entrepreneurs. And even for those where we had people who are in the colleges. So what we started doing, I'm coming to the other segment, how do we build synergies with the industry? Because if the industry doesn't take what is being generated, it is of no use. And I have great sense of pride in sharing with all of us that NSIC did not get budgetary support for its administrative expenses. We used to charge fees for the trainings which we used to give. Even today, we believe in that only. We charge fees, but they say the taste of the pudding lies in its eating. Nobody will pay fees or nobody would advocate your institution by word of mouth unless the quality of that is being maintained. So we started synergizing with the industry, bringing the industry to our campus, and some of the leading names of today, the Carl Zeiss, the Adroitic, the ABB, the Snyder, they were all big names who started synergizing with NSIC, and we started giving trainings. The best part was that the trained manpower would be utilized in the industry which will be there. So again, a story, sir, of academics, the children who do not get the exposure in their colleges to what a 3D printing is, to what a CNC 5-axis machine is, and similar other technologies, we bring them to our campus. And this is what can be replicated at lot many places. I offer you, sir, that let both of us join hands in this regard through your chamber. Let us help the academicians, the colleges, and the industry in creating a platform whereby we bring them on a situation where the students gain, where the industry gains, and we churn out the best trained manpower in the things. Sir, it is this. It is the Indian MSMEs. It is this trained manpower which enabled me to project our country to the MSMEs, to similar organizations in Russia, in Malaysia, in South Korea, in Morocco, in Bangladesh, in Mauritius, in Vietnam. And they showed huge interest. And so much so, they wanted to set up technology exchange centers. This is what the need is. If today's youth who is into spice grinding is enjoying a bank limit, is talking about exports to Africa and Russia, if we give them a platform and we bring the two together from India and elsewhere in the world, that is the biggest service which we'll be able to render to our youth, our small enterprises, and the enterprises in the countries outside. So this is how we have been helping them. And there are people who are coming forward. And some of my friends are watching this program who are coming forward with funds. There are venture funds available. There are other funds available whereby people are prepared to help small enterprises, to help new programs, whereby the enterprises which are promising, which are growing, can be assisted. Because that is what India requires today. And it will become even more big a requirement when the education policy, which has been approved yesterday by the cabinet and our Honorable Prime Minister, becomes a reality. Maybe in another 4 years, you will find that people who would be churning out of the colleges would be far more trained than what their predecessors were at some point in time. And India is a land where passion matters. India is a land where we don't give up that easily. And I'll just conclude my thing by saying, बहादुर कब किसी का आसरा एहसान लेते हैं? बहादुर कब किसी का आसरा एहसान लेते हैं? उसी को कर गुजरते हैं जो मन में ठान लेते हैं. So with these words, I would like to thank you again for giving me this opportunity to engage with the youth, and I'm sure there will be many questions which would be coming out from the youth, from the academicians, from the industry. And as I said, we will be creating a platform with you whereby all these requirements, all these questions can be answered for an Atmanirbhar Bharat to be created in the times to come. And let us make India something which we will all be proud of to hand over to the next generation when we say Alvida to our people. I'm looking at you and looking at the passion I carry. This Alvida is not going to come in the next few years, but we need to pass the baton to the next generation to say, well, now, ab tumhare hawale watan dosto. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right from your heart. What a wonderful, what a wonderful deliberation. What a wonderful experience. What a wonderful practical touch. And what all you have done over the years with the NSIC, what you have done with the Ministry of MSME, it came right from the heart. Today, I'm totally speechless, to be very frank, if I share with you, because my deepest gratitude and thanks to you, because MSME sector has suffered maximum during this pandemic and during this coronavirus. When I come from the background of the tourism, hospitality, airlines, retail, media entertainment, services sector, we are a chamber which is exclusively on a services sector. And I personally feel, but at the same time, with the new education policy which has come to India now, which is so practical, which is so pragmatic, which is so I'm just so thoughtful, and which is so futuristic, which is going to have a leapfrog for India, for the world. And whatsoever in a humble way our chamber put up to the Ministry of MSME, by various action plan, roadmaps and white papers, and from time to time, and all the deliberations with you which we had, and of course that time the secretary, MSME, and the additional secretary, and a couple of other people in the ministry. I'm very happy that people like you, they can give a new dimension to the entire trajectory, and we can take the whole practical approach, education, skills, vocationals, corporate, the government, everybody got to be together on a common platform. Technology is going to play a very important role. And like you rightly said, government is doing wonderful. Government is having lots of programs, but they have to percolate till the last beneficiary the best possible way by different means, portals, whatever we can talk about. I've got a couple of questions in my mind, but today time is not permitting. It's already 8:45 p.m. Financial literacy with regard to MSMEs, which has to reach out digital literacy, which has to reach out, then the short term, then the long term plans, and the mission what we have got of Make in India, Assemble in India, Startup India, Stand Up India, whatsoever we have got. Then we got to capture the global market also, because now this is the most opportune time for India, and particularly when Ministry of MSME has given equal weightage to manufacturing as well as services. The people those have gone abroad, people those have gone abroad and they become the CEOs in the different corporate houses today, and they're doing extremely well overseas. Now is the time for them to look back and to repay back to the soil where from, whether they have done IIT or they have done IIM or they have done from some other institution, whatever they have done. Then something like MSME to boost the strategy which has to work out. Then the MSME loans, whatever is coming through, how in a practical way it should reach the end beneficiary, where the banks do not on the way stop quite a bit and create a kind of a difficulty and all that. Then the skills development, capacity building, and couple of other things which has to be taken. Can I take a little pledge from you today? And if I can make a request to you, you and me, we have enjoyed the beautiful era. I come from the armed forces, and as a young soldier, as a major, when I moved to the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, I had a privilege to be a part of setting up India's first National Institute for Tourism. And thereafter, I would say the person who basically never wanted to study, and that's why I joined the armed forces. And thereafter doing my master's, my PhD, and passion followed my profession and everything, and drafted and being a part of the whole MBA tourism policy of India, and taking that to different universities in India way back 87, 88, 89, 90, along with the team members and my leader in IITTM, Indian Institute of Travel and Tourism Management. And couple of other things, when you think about hotel management, it used to be a diploma. Then bringing one more, kind of a program from the IGNU, and people started getting degree in the hotel management. Then coming towards the army, so one decorated soldier who became later on the governor also, he gave me an opportunity. In the 4 rooms, we set up Hotel Management Institute in Bangalore in the army. And today I see the entire Indian Army having such a beautiful Hotel Management Institute for the Armed Forces children in Bangalore. I would say all those dreams when I look at, and when I look back at the life has given so much. Same goes with you having done your chartered accountancy and so much and all, and you rose up to the final finale as a CMD of the NSIC and did so much, and what you have shared overseas countries, wherever you have. Can we take on today together? New education policy has come. Skills and competency is there. The corporate academias, government, everybody got to be brought together. We got to share the expertise of the various people. We got to do the hand-holding of the existing MSMEs. The people, those have got uprooted and they have got out of job during this coronavirus and in the MSME sector. At the same time, the young generation which is aspiring to become MSMEs, can we work out a strategy? Monday to Saturday, my hands are already full, because 7 to 8 p.m., we are having Monday to Friday making education relevant. Saturday, we are having yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition. Can we work out a strategy? Let's make Sunday evening the most vibrant and the most meaningful for the entire Indian economy. Revival, growth, development, export, whether manufacturing or services, and whatever we can work out a strategy in the MSME sector. Let's dedicate Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m., where you take on the shoulder and the responsibility with our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry. Let's dedicate Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. for the MSME sector. Would you like to join hands, sir? We would like to take on your cerebrum, your expertise, and your all long-term experience in the long journey of the life.
Absolutely a great idea, sir. And as I said, I'm always with you And I'm sure we would be able to invite some very good brains in terms of the credit exposures, in terms of technology exposures, in terms of managing of the funds, in terms of trainings, and we would all be what you call learning from their experiences, and they would also be trying to bring in together how the MSMEs in these challenging times and in better times, because I believe these challenging times is only a transient phase.
And opportunities will be there.
There will be tremendous opportunities.
Yes.
And let those opportunities, I even look at the migrant labor as an opportunity for upskilling them. Why should we only give them Manrega? Why not we inculcate them the desire to upskill themselves and have that pride that I am also something. And I missed out on one. Even politicians in other countries, we could transform them from politicians to entrepreneurs. I remember a gentleman who was a mayor in one of the places very close to Durban. He had so many machines from us that finally he gave up politics and said, well, I don't have time for all these things. So definitely, sir, if we can join hands and help, it would be a privilege.
See, there's a lady from London, Barbara Moss, M-A-S-S. How wonderful. Thank you, India, and all involved. There is a message in the chat from a lady all the way from London who has joined this program and who's watching this. Then there is a Sarka Matloob. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful session. And of course, when I browse this entire, I think you have got so many greetings this evening. People have enjoyed each and every word of yours. So ladies and gentlemen, both of us, I, along with Ravindra Nath this evening, we take a pledge every Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. So far, I was thinking that Monday to Saturday, we are together 7 to 8 p.m. Sunday evening will be dedicated. So the government, the corporate sector, the academias, the experts, the financial hubs, and everybody together. And I would request you, sir, you kindly take on anchoring and chairperson to take on this entire responsibility to share this forum and to bring all the stakeholders together. Let India take a lead in the MSME sector. First of all, we revive where we lost quite a bit. The people who lost the jobs, they got to be put into the place once again. We should help the Ministry of MSME the best possible way. And while congratulating the new education policy, the government of India, under the dynamic and dedicated and the vibrant leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji, and of course, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, let's work out together the MSME, and where we talk about basically, let's create jobs, let's not ask for the jobs, and where the dignity of your self-education, self-development is being maintained. Now, I'll take a little more time from you, sir. I've got 6 girls lined up over here who would be just sharing their thought process with you.
Excellent.
They have heard you. They have gone through the education policy also, because under the women empowerment, a minute or two each girl with your permission. I'll just take them on a floor, sir. And with these words, let me first invite Sanvi Arora. Could I request you if you can unmute your mic, child? I would be so happy. Sanvi, can you unmute your mic? And ladies and gentlemen, let this girl take the center global stage today. I would request you, Sanvi, you are the celebrity now. If your bandwidth is good, you can show your face to the world. You are a celebrity and you're going to talk to all of us. And Sanvi, oh, my child, great evening and a hearty welcome to you. How is my child?
Fine, sir.
How are the parents? How's everybody in your neighborhood, families and all that?
Yeah, everybody's doing well.
Good. You're taking care of everyone like a responsible child?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sanvi, how do you think about the new education policy which has come in our country?
I feel extremely delighted with the announcement of the new education policy because I think that lot of changes are going to be brought up with this, and it will mark a new era in our education system, in the
Wow.
teaching learning process.
Wow. What discipline you are in? You are studying science, commerce, or arts?
Science.
You are studying science. So you would like to enjoy the music therapy also now?
Yes, of course.
Wow. And the fashion designing also, because they say now you can take on different subjects. What message would you like to give to the entire girl child, the humanity, the world over? What would you like to tell other girls of your age group?
Well, I would only say that one should follow his curiosity, live in the present, make mistakes, learn from them, and imagination is powerful.
Wow, imagination and curiosity. Wow, that's great. Hearty welcome. Thank you, Sanvi. And great regards to your parents, your friends, your brothers, sisters, and everybody. You can mute your mic now. Thank you, child.
Thank you,
Shrishti.
sir.
Wow, the Shrishti. Can you, Shrishti? Where is Shrishti? Wow, Shrishti. Great evening, child. How are you?
सब good.
आपने सारी सृष्टि को डिस्टर्ब किया हुआ है क्योंकि सारे संसार में कोरोना से सारी सृष्टि जो है आई थिंक somewhere the mic disturbance is there. Okay. Shrishti, what message would you like to give? Are you happy with the new education policy?
Yes, sir. Now we will be able. We are not to cram things. One
Yeah.
can.
Wow, you're not too critical. Okay. Right. Right. You are happy with the new education policy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? New education policy?
So it's really nice. I would like to thank our Honorable Prime Minister, Cabinet, and HRD for this policy. It will surely bring nice, future for our students.
Very good. Shrishti, what message would you like to give to Shrishti?
That stay safe, stay at home.
Stay safe and stay home. Okay, because for Shrishti का message to the environment, you got to be taking care of environment. Safe रहिए. Thank you, beta. Thank you. You can mute your mic. Okay, Prabha, can you unmute your mic, child? Prabha, can you unmute?
Sure,
Yes. Good evening, Prabha. How are you, beta?
I'm all fine.
Okay, Prabha, if your mic and if your bandwidth is okay, would you like to come live or you just want to talk, beta?
Sir, I'll talk only.
Okay, you will talk only. Okay, child, I hope everybody is fine at home, in neighborhood, families, community,
Yes, sir. Everything is fine.
and you are looking after them. Okay, good. Are you happy with the new education policy?
Yes, sir. I'm really happy.
Okay, what would you like to tell the Honorable Prime Minister of India or the Education Minister?
I'll really thank him that he really worked hard to create this scheme, and we are really benefiting from this. So it's all thanks to our Prime Minister and the people under him who are working on it.
Very good, very good. What message would you like to give to every girl child world over, beta?
As the previous girl said, stay at home, stay safe, because it's more important to stay well.
Yes, yes. The cases should not increase in India. We all got to be taking care of ourselves and at the same time taking care of others as well. Yes,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. Okay, Rhea, can you unmute your mic, child? Rhea, can you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my child. Do you want to show yourself or you want to just talk?
Sir, I can show myself.
Oh, you can show. Yes. Good evening, my child. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
कैसा है मेरा बच्चा?
Good.
Good. Very good. Mama, Papa, Bhaiya, और
Yes, all are fine.
Okay, okay, good. Are you happy with the new education policy?
Yes, sir, I am very happy because we will be getting more career options now. Students will be less confused about their future.
Okay, okay. Great. And what message do you want to give to all the girl child world over?
Sir, I would like to give the message that just follow your passion and don't listen to the society if it's about your future.
Good. Follow your passion. And that's what Ravindra Nath ji was also telling, that every child has a potential. We all got to excel. Thank you, Mera Beta. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Harshita, have you done already? Harshita.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, child. How are you, beta?
Good evening, sir. I am good. How about you?
Oh, welcome to you, my daughter. Welcome to you, my child. Welcome to my granddaughter. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mummy, Papa, सब लोग सब कैसे हैं?
Everybody is well, sir. All good.
Very good, very good. So tell me, are you happy with the new education policy?
Sir, honestly, in my views, this is the greatest decision in decades because, like, this was literally the wish of every single child. Or, like, personally, it's been an ongoing education system which are somewhat fed up of. We are getting, like, on our way. So, like, listening to both of you, of course, I was thinking about this episode I saw a few days back. It addressed the current problems only. Like, it talked about how students are taught in schools and colleges and how it actually works in real life. So, like, in my opinion, this is like the very best decision, and I would like to congratulate the upcoming generations. And I'm so happy for them, and I feel thankful to the government. And, like, after even in fact 34 years, this topic is in debate, but this is the demanding change.
Very good, very good, very good. अच्छा, अभी तुम्हारा कोई टीचर नहीं सुन रहा है, एक सीक्रेट बात करनी है.
Yes, sir.
तुम ये बताओ कि are you enjoying digital mode of education?
Okay. So personally, like, I was going through the new education policy, but, like, personally right now what I am facing, like, I would say in my opinion, there was a section in the policy that said students from 6th standard will be taught about coding and all.
Yes.
Right now, the corporate world, schools, colleges, universities, everything has just shifted to, like, digitalization. Everything is online right now. So
you're enjoying?
I am personally in a dilemma because, you know, it's just staying in front of the laptop for 7-8 hours, then taking off coachings online. So it becomes hectic. And in the end of the day, I'm like, somewhat this is nice, right?
Okay.
In fact, but if it goes like this, I am personally feeling how good it was at the time when I used to sit in the physical classroom.
Okay, okay. Thank you, beta. God bless you. And do you want to give any message to all girl child?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, everyone, like, this is the message that you all should just catch their dreams, not just with burdened wings, but elevated flights, honestly, because...
Elevated flight. Wow, that's great. That's great. Regards and blessings to you.
Thank you,
and
sir.
great regards to your parents. Thank you. Thank you. Who is left over now out of the girls? Who is left over? Come on. Priyanka, you have already spoken. Okay. Anybody left over? Any child left over? Okay. If nobody is, who is left over?
Sir, Priyanka.
Yeah, so Priyanka, that's what I was asking you, my child. Aao beta.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Priyanka, and hearty welcome to you and regards to your parents. Mummy, Papa वगैरह सब ठीक हैं? Mama, Papa सब घर पे अच्छे से हैं? All are okay? Priyanka, घर पे सब ठीक है बेटा?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All are fine and healthy.
Okay,
Yes.
good. आपके neighbor में, आपके पड़ोस में सब ठीक है बेटा?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Are you happy with the new education policy?
Yes, sir.
Great. आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे
Yes, sir.
वर्ल्ड की गर्ल्स?
I am very happy.
देना चाहेंगे? What do you want to tell all girl child?
Sir, I want to give them message that I want to tell them, sir, that they should follow their passion and what they like, what they're dreaming of, and what they what they want. They should do that.
Okay.
They should not
Follow their passion. They should follow their
get
passion.
stopped by the society because society
आपका
norms.
आपका बैंडविड्थ में
They
प्रॉब्लम आ
should
रहा है, अगर आप
do what
वीडियो
their
ऑफ कर
passion is,
देंगे,
what their hobby is. Yes,
आपका ना बैंडविड्थ में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, वीडियो ऑफ कर दो तो ऑडियो अच्छा हो जाएगा.
that's all I want to say.
Okay, thank you beta, thank you Ravindra Nath ji.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure to have these kids with us. Wonderful to hear their views, wonderful to listen to them, and such a nice kids. And God bless them, God bless their parents. They are so positive, they are so dynamic. So sir, finally I take a pledge from you that let's get the entire MSME sector on the growth path, on the leadership path, and on the recovery path, on the growth path, whatever best we can do. And every Sunday evening, so ladies and gentlemen, we wish to share with all of you, those are joining us, those are watching us world over, that Monday to Saturday we were already there, and Sunday evening we used to come, or we are coming 5 o'clock for the ASEAN. So 5 to 6 we will finish with the ASEAN, then we will have 1 hour gap, and like we come from Monday to Saturday 7 to 8 p.m. Sunday evening will bring MSME sector stakeholders from the government, from the corporate, from the academias, and of course, research and development, innovation, creativity, skills, competencies, education, whatever is required. And Ravindra Nath ji, I would request you to kindly take on the responsibility and share the responsibility to take on this particular segment and sector, because it's your baby. I would request you, our chamber would request you, kindly help us out the best possible way to take on that, sir.
Sure, sir. And I'm a very big fan of our Honorable Prime Minister, and especially when he says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. This statement is not a mere statement. It is bringing everybody together, and why not in the MSME sector also? We have the finest of brains in our country, and let us not do injustice to the MSMEs by simply citing a 4 lines in their honor, in their praise, that they contribute this much to the GDP, they contribute this much to the employment, they contribute this much to the exports, and suddenly after the 4th sentence, there is a complete lull. Let us make it the vibrant sector as the Prime Minister expects it to be, as Mr. Gadkari expects it to be, and as our Honorable Finance Minister has reposed so much of confidence in empowering the MSMEs today in these difficult times. But then, I always believe our MSMEs and all these whose success stories I shared today, they all started small. The country, why only India? Let us look at all countries across the world. More than 90%, 95%, 97% are MSMEs or the SMEs. And that too, the lower rung of that. I'm sure the change of definition has done a world of good to us. It will be wonderful how we make use of it. When the entire world is looking towards NSI, towards the Indian MSMEs, why not we exploit this opportunity and create something where everyone can be advantageous in position? So sure, sir. When you are there, we will definitely be doing things together, and I will try to move things quickly. And if not this Sunday, at least from next Sunday onwards, it will be 100%.
Right. Let's start from the next Sunday, and 7 to 8 p.m. Let's get all the stakeholders together. Let's pool in all the resources together. Let's bring a panel with you, and you kindly take care of, because you have got in your fold so much of kitties, so much of treasure, so much of experience, and so much of expertise from the world over. So ladies and gentlemen, with this positive note, we finish today's webinar. Thank you very much for staying tuned in and having joined us this evening. Yet another powerful evening. And I'm so grateful to Ravindra Nath ji. You have tried threadbare to touch each and every segment and each and every part of it. I'm so grateful. So all the people in Canada, Latin America, and United States, you have got a long day ahead. People, those are in London or those are in Europe, go for your evening tea and coffee. People, those are in India, go for your evening dinner. And of course, people, those are in ASEAN, I'm so grateful to all of you for having remained awake so long. And people, those are in Japan, South Korea, and all. Oh my God. I mean, you're such a wonderful souls. And people, those are in Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand, let them dream about MSME that is coming not this Sunday, from next Sunday. With these words, thank you very much, sir. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. It was such a wonderful, such a powerful evening with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you, sir.